So before we go and actually set this terrarium up, I just want to talk a little bit about the frame that we've done. I'll show some pictures of how I built that. So as you can see, it sits above these two aquariums. My only regret is when I cut these timbers, I should have had this top bar on top of this bar, and I couldn't turn them sideways because it wouldn't give me access through to the aquarium itself. Now what I have done is, you might notice there's 3 screws in here. One of these is 120 mil, so it goes right through, which will give loads of stability, to be honest. And there's not massive amounts of weight in a terrarium as there is would, or as there would be in an aquarium. So let's crack on and get this terrarium scape then. So I've cut my cork panels. Obviously these need to go up to the ceiling. I need to get these glued in now. And what I'll be using, if it hasn't gone off, is this Aqua Forte Super Strong. So I've got it lying on its back at the moment, and I took the lid off. Did run out of adhesive. So as you can probably see on this side, I've just put the X on, but it'll be fine. Let that set. I mean, this stuff dries rock hard. You might have noticed that I cut the bottom bit a bit shorter, but I am going to slope, if that's the front, I'm going to slope the substrate towards the back anyway. So the idea of cutting it short was not only to save cork, but not have cork sitting in water. So I'm going to let that set, and then tomorrow what we'll do is we'll start to cut up the surface. I'm going to do it slightly different to before. So I'm going to try and break the surface up with a strong fork, if that makes sense. And what I'm doing here is just scraping off the surface with a fork. And as you can see, if you look at the difference between the back and the sides, how much that textures that. So it's literally just dragging a fork over it until you sort of get that done. Now that we've got that done, and it is messy, what I'm doing is I'm just taking out as much as I can of the broken cork bits that fall off, and saving these potentially for later use. If I do another tank or this one, and I use expanding foam to foam in a background item such as a branch, then I can actually blend it in using these cork bits, and then finally vacuuming it clean, as well as the cork panels themselves. So I've painted the board. I'm not sure if I'm going to screw this down yet. It is a little bit warped, but I've painted it grey to match all the other boards for my frog tanks. I've still to do the board for this side, but what we're going to do next is we're going to stick this tube in place. So let me quickly just show you this tube. I do this in all of my tanks. It's just a piece of plastic tube that I've cut, and I'll sit it in the corner and glue it in. Now what I'll do with that is, once that's glued in, I'll put a sponge in the top, and what the bottom does, it allows me to drop in a siphon and drain the drainage layer on the tank when and as I need to. Next thing I'm putting in then are called Swell Hydro Rocks. So this is my drainage layer. I was tempted to use an aquarium sponge. Now these should be in 9-litre bags, but the bags came all split, so I've had to sort of re-bag them. And I may need more than what's actually in the bag, but what I'm keen to do is I'm keen to angle this towards the back. I still want a little bit at the front, but I'm keen to angle it towards the back. I do have a hole in this bag, so I've just got to be careful now I don't lose this everywhere else. So these are hydro balls. They're just like an expanded clay ball, similar to Leica. Okay, next bit we need in then is a divider. So let's get a divider cut to size. Now that I've got my divider in, what I'm going to do is mix up my substrate. I'm going to do a little bit different this time. I'm going to use 1/3 pumice, 1/3 orchid bark, and 1/3 a soil. So the soil I'm going to use is Arcadia earth mix. So that's us with our substrate in, and as you can see I've sort of built the back up a little bit. I was tempted to foam it in something like that. However, because this is potentially going to be a grow out tank, I wanted something that I could remove. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sort of wrap mosses and stuff around this, and just have it so it's potentially removable as and when I need to. I might turn it the other way around, I don't know yet, I haven't really made up my mind. But I do like it. I just need to sort of work out, sorry camera, I do like it, I just need to sort of work out where best to put that, and something like that works well for me, and where I can sort of lift it out and catch frogs should I need to if I sell any. So from a plant perspective then, I've used a little bit of oak leaf ficus that came out of one of my other tanks that wasn't doing too well, and then scattered throughout the walls what I've done is I've stuffed in little bits of moss. So this is a mix of Java and I think it's flame moss. I've put a bromeliad up in that corner, and then Selaginella unicata, uncinata, whatever it's called, down here. I've taken some cuttings out of the other tank and I've just placed that on some sphagnum moss to keep that moist. Now what I have done is on this branch, so I'll keep spraying this down every couple of hours, I've put some, you can sort of see the bits of moss in there, but there are some weird and wonderful things in this little moss mix that I've sort of put in. So I'm hoping that that will sort of take and keep the humidity high in here, and that will sort of go up. Now I have put in some spring tails, just normal spring tails, a little bit more moss scattered about in this wall as well, but I have put some spring tails in. Next thing to put in then is my leaf litter. Let's get that done. Might add a few more leaves, but now that that's done I need to go and select a few isopods out. I do need to do the lid as well, so what I'm probably going to do is cut that mesh out, or cut most of that mesh out and put a glass insert in, but I need to go and get the glass cut. So this is my little isopod culture of dwarf whites. I'm going to go and pick 10 or 12 out of there, put them in a pot before we put those into the terrarium. So we've selected out about a dozen dwarf whites, and I don't know if we're going to catch these, but hopefully you should see these sort of crawling about. Probably a few spring tails with them as well. But little dwarf white isopods, there's plenty there just to get a colony going. I mean, look how powerful they are. They actually moved a bit of debris there, but we'll leave these to settle in. Things left to do then are, I need to do the top. So it's just mesh at the moment, but I want to sort of close that off so the humidity stays high. I do need to put a sponge in the top of that drain. I need to put some black vinyl across the front, so I hide this, and probably down that side as well. But for now we'll keep spraying it down and pick up when I get the other bits done. Picking back up then, I have covered this front. I'm a bit short here. I might paint that in with a bit of black paint just to make it look neat. I have put some plastic on the top, but I have just rested it for now because I do want to cut some of this mesh out and put some glass in. The reason I want to cut it out is because I believe it restricts light. Now I haven't done the side, but the reason I haven't done the side is because I've ordered the next terrarium for there, so there'll be two in this on this rack. So you may notice that I've put some tubs in there quicker than I wanted to, if I'm honest, but my Finalizing vittatus tadpoles, their front legs popped out, and I'm led to believe that they pop out of the water quite quickly after that and absorb their tails once they're out. So what I've had to do is put the tubs in there. I've put them at a little bit of an angle to give them a bit of a head start, but that's going to have my grow out for the Finalizing. And as I say, I've had to order another tank for the other side, which I'll get done pretty quick. I'll video that for you guys as well. If you want to see these tadpoles with all their legs out, then I have put a couple of shorts up, so go and check those out. But other than that, thanks for watching everybody, and I'll speak to you on the next build. Take care.